Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I upgrade my Tractor Supply pellet stove with a hopper extension. I'm going to take you through the process that I used to build it, the materials I used, and I'm going to show you the final product. Previously, this stove had an 18-pound hopper capacity. Stay tuned to the end to find out what it holds now. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Okay, so to get the lid off, I took a 3mm ball end Allen wrench to get it on an angle, and I took the two screws out of the corners, and then the lid pops right out. The two screws look like this. They're only threaded about a 1/4 inch up, and then the rest of it's just free, so you can just slide them on out. Be careful you don't drop them down in the stove. The best advice I can give anybody whenever you're taking stuff apart is bag it and tag it, especially if you know you're going to use it later on, or there's a chance you might use it later on. Mark what it is, put it in a bag, seal it up real good, tape it to the part, especially when you have little bolts like that, and then keep it somewhere safe. Alright, so here's where we're at now at this stage of the game. So to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't measure anything, I just eyeballed everything. So how I'm going to figure out the angle for the sides is actually quite easy. All I'm going to do is take my spare piece of cardboard and a marker, put it up there like so, get it to where I want it to be, and mark on the outside of each one. Mark them at the top, and that's it. That is your angles. That's the outside piece for your box. Super simple, no measure, no think, just do. Yeah. Okay, the next thing I do is I bring my template back here and I check it, and that is absolutely perfect. So I only make 2 templates whenever I make things. I make one for the one side and one for the other, that way everything is symmetrical. If you make 4 templates for all 4 panels, you're going to have something that's all messed up, and it may not be symmetrical, so that's why I only make one for the front, one for the back. That's it. Alright, so I made 2 templates. This is the front and back, and then this one template is for both sides, and I'm left with 2 side panels and a front and a back. The only difference between the front and the back is I have a notch cut in the front here. I don't have one in the back, and let me show you why I cut a notch in the front. Because I have that little guy sticking out right there, and I'm not going to cut that off just to make a hopper extension. I'm going to leave that on there to leave the stove completely factory. That's why I'm saving these parts, so if I ever decide to get rid of the stove or anything like that, I can restore it back to factory condition. So the next step, I'm going to get these set up and weld them, and I'll bring you back whenever I get to that point. Next thing I do is get all the pieces together, use my magnets to hold it up, make a perfect 90-degree angle, both sides. I just bumped this so there's a little bit of gap there, I got to push that back together. But then I'll tack it in several spots, and then I'll put the other side on. Do the same thing with the magnets, make sure everything's making a perfectly 90-degree angle, and then I'll tack the top from the inside, and then when I'm all done, I'll test fit it. Here's where we're at so far. I took silicone and just smeared it in the edges here, just so the dust and stuff wouldn't come out and it would be contained in here. I had to build a shelf over the door switch that's on the stove. I'll show you here. So I put a bolt, welded a bolt to this to depress the switch right there, so it presses it down whenever I put it on. And the cover covers this up so no pellets get down in behind here and mess with the switch. So that's my solution to that. Your stove may be different, but that's the way this one is. So I just had to kind of roll with it and think on the fly. But yeah, that was the easy solution. I'm just going to silicone the rest of this stuff here and then start working on the lid next. Alright, so for the lid here, I just made up another template out of cardboard. Made up a lid. This is all scratched up. I'm going to clean this up real good. Just welded some cabinet hinges to it real quick. Boom, boom. Welded them on the back. No problem. You won't see the back anyway. It's no big deal. And then I drilled some holes for a handle. I'm going to polish this handle, paint everything else to match the stove, and I think this will look pretty good. Tomorrow I'm going to sand it all up, get it ready for paint, throw a coat of paint on it, and it'll be done. That's it. Finished product, almost. We're getting there. It's close. Alright, I just laid down my first coat of primer. Of course, I set my can down on it earlier, and there must have been some oil on the bottom of it, so I got to clean that up. But it's the first coat. It's fine. No big deal. This is what I'm using, just because it's what I had, not because I prefer it. I didn't want to go to the store today because it's snowing outside, so I figured I'd just use what I have, and that's what it ended up being. You can use any primer you want. Yeah, that's going to bother the crap out of me, so I'm going to sand that as soon as it dries. And I'll come back whenever we put some color on this thing. Okay, I got some color on this thing now. Starting to match the stove pretty decently. What I'm using here, some Rust-Oleum's High Heat Barbecue Flat Black. Heat up to 1200 degrees. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea, but it does get pretty warm up top, so I figured it wouldn't hurt. Now this I didn't have. I had to go buy this. This was $8 a can, which I only used about half a can so far. I got 2 coats on it, looking pretty good. I'm going to put probably another 2 coats on it, sand the top a little bit more and get those rings out. And that should be it. I'm going to put the handle on this thing then and get her finished up next time I see you. Here is the finished product, all painted up. Not paint the inside because every pellet stove I've ever had, they leave the inside raw, so the paint doesn't chip away and get out in your stove. But yeah, there she is. I think that came out pretty darn nice. Alright guys, here it is all finished up. Now the question is, how much does it hold? I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm going to bring you along with me. So let me bring you over here. Open the door. It's almost empty. A little bit in there yet. Almost. If I would have left it go empty, it would have been able to fit the rest of them in there. So I'd say from empty, it's 1 full bag. That's pretty good. That's what I was looking for, was 1 full bag. I call that close enough. I call that a win. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like seeing me build stuff, I know I enjoy building stuff and I like bringing you guys along. So if you enjoy it, give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I'm going to do more of these projects, so if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments what you want to see me do next, and I'll catch you in the next one.